Burnout among women in the workplace is a topic that's quietly pervasive, yet deeply impactful. While burnout can affect anyone, regardless of gender, the unique pressures and expectations placed on women often make their experiences distinct. In examining the story of women's burnout at work, it's essential to understand not just the symptoms and causes, but also the broader cultural, social, and economic factors that shape these experiences. Imagine for a moment the daily routine of a working woman. For many, the day begins before sunrise, balancing the demands of family, preparing meals, ensuring children are ready for school, and perhaps caring for aging parents. These responsibilities, often referred to as the second shift, don't end when the workday begins. They run parallel, sometimes intertwining and always looming in the background. At work, women are frequently expected to excel in their roles, maintain professionalism, and meet or exceed targets. They may also carry the additional burden of being seen as caregivers, peacemakers, and morale boosters for the team. In meetings, women might feel the pressure to speak up just enough to show engagement, but not so much as to be labeled aggressive. They may be assigned invisible tasks, organizing office parties, taking notes, or mentoring others. Duties that are essential but often undervalued and rarely recognized in performance reviews. Then there's the pervasive issue of the gender pay gap. Despite progress, women in many fields still earn less than their male counterparts for the same work. This financial disparity can add a layer of stress, as women may feel the need to work harder to prove their worth or to justify their position. For mothers, the motherhood penalty is real, with studies showing that working mothers are often perceived as less committed, while working fathers are seen as more responsible. Layered on top of all this is the social conditioning that encourages women to be self-sacrificing, agreeable, and accommodating. From a young age, many girls are taught to put others' needs before their own, to minimize conflict, and to seek approval. In the workplace, these tendencies can translate into difficulty setting boundaries, reluctance to delegate, and a tendency to overcommit. All these factors create a fertile ground for burnout. But what does burnout actually look like? It's more than just feeling tired after a long week. Burnout is a state of chronic physical and emotional exhaustion. It's characterized by a sense of detachment from work, feelings of cynicism, and a reduced sense of personal accomplishment. For women, burnout can be compounded by guilt. Guilt for not meeting everyone's expectations, for feeling overwhelmed, or for wanting to step back and take care of themselves. The signs of burnout can be subtle at first. Maybe there's a persistent sense of fatigue that doesn't go away with a good night's sleep. Perhaps there's a growing irritability, a loss of enthusiasm for projects that once inspired passion. Some women may notice changes in their health. Headaches, stomach issues, insomnia, or frequent colds. Mentally, there can be a sense of fog, difficulty concentrating, or forgetfulness. Emotionally, there's a creeping numbness, a feeling of going through the motions rather than truly engaging with work or life. Why does burnout seem to affect so many women, particularly in today's fast-paced world? One reason is the lack of support and recognition for the dual roles many women play. While workplace policies have evolved, many organizations still lack sufficient family-friendly policies, flexible working arrangements, or support for mental health. Even when such policies exist, there can be an unspoken stigma attached to using them, with women fearing that taking advantage of flexibility will be seen as a lack of commitment. Another contributing factor is the phenomenon of emotional labor. This refers to the effort required to manage one's own emotions and the emotions of others, often in service-oriented roles. Women are disproportionately expected to perform emotional labor, calming upset clients, smoothing over team conflicts, or providing a listening ear to colleagues. This work is rarely acknowledged, yet it can be deeply draining. Women of color, LGBTQ+ women, and women with disabilities may face additional layers of stress and burnout. They often navigate not only the pressures of gender, but also the challenges of bias, discrimination, and the need to constantly prove themselves in environments that may not be inclusive or supportive. The intersections of these identities can intensify the risk and experience of burnout. So, what can be done to address and prevent burnout among women in the workplace? The solutions require action at both the individual and organizational level. On a personal level, setting boundaries is key. This might mean saying no to extra projects, delegating tasks, or carving out time for self-care. It's important for women to recognize that rest is not a luxury. It's a necessity. Seeking support is also vital. This could be through mentorship, networking groups, or simply having honest conversations with trusted colleagues or supervisors. Therapy and counseling can provide tools for managing stress, building resilience, and challenging unhelpful thought patterns. But individual strategies alone are not enough. Organizations must create cultures that value work-life balance, recognize invisible labor, and ensure that policies are not just in place, but actively encouraged and destigmatized. Leaders should be trained to recognize the signs of burnout and to foster environments where employees feel safe to speak up about their needs. Promoting diversity and inclusion is also essential. When women see others who look like them in positions of leadership, it can help to break down the isolation that contributes to burnout. Pay equity, transparent promotion processes, and clear channels for reporting discrimination are all critical components of a healthy workplace. Ultimately, addressing burnout among women in the workplace is about more than preventing exhaustion. It's about creating environments where everyone can thrive. It's about recognizing the unique challenges women face, valuing their contributions, and ensuring that the future of work is one where well-being is a priority, not an afterthought. By acknowledging and addressing these issues openly, organizations can unlock the full potential of their workforce and build a more equitable and sustainable path forward for all.